Today's lesson aims to provide you with a better understanding on one of the most powerful and accurate school of astrological reading, which is called Wei Dou Shu. Wei Dou Shu destiny study is another main branch of Chinese astrology alongside with Ba-Zi or the four pillars that the ancient Chinese used to unveil their predestined affinities by applying its techniques to enhance their general well-being, be it on a personal, business advantage or on a daily level. In short, the Wei Dou Shu astrology enable us to better comprehend and optimize our lives at each phase or episode during their journey of success or trepidation. The Wei Dou Shu astrology is different from fortune telling, such as I Ching or Ba-Zi, as it has its own unique system. The Wei astrology has been widely practiced in ancient China, especially during the Song and Ming dynasties. The Wei can be translated as purple star or the emperor star, and astrology means interpretation using esoteric techniques. The main focus of Wei astrology is to study a person's destiny based on the movement of favorite stars and the location of Wei star within the 12 different palaces or houses or quadrants. The variation in methodology in calculating the person's destiny is different from school to school. For example, there are the Northern and Southern schools in addition to different techniques variation adopted for calculation and interpretation. The way astrology uses calculation of a person's year, month, date, and time of birth to allocate the stars inside the 12 different palaces. The chart that is construed forms the person's personalized destiny chart, and this chart corresponds to the person's entire lives, ups and downs, as they unfold over the course of their life. The next step after construed the personalized destiny chart is to understand the meaning of the 12 palaces, and then go on to understand the broad and narrow definition of stars besides seeking a further understanding of the heavenly stems and earthly branches in each respective palaces, houses, or quadrants. The time of birth is especially important in plotting the Wei Dou Shu chart. By knowing the time of birth, one can already deduce one's orientation in life and what holds closely to their heart and mind. Thus, knowing which double hour one is born within can provide an indicative perspective of the person's general mindset and destiny orientation, so to speak. To explain, in this system of Wei astrology, the palaces can shift or rotate around, but the stars within each palace or quadrant remain. It is similar in analogy to taking a train ride. When one starts a journey, as in since birth, it moves from one station to another in life as it progresses. The views outside the train window changes while one remains on the moving train until it reaches the final destination, which means here ends of one's journey or life. Therefore, the 12 standard stations or stages are Fixed Palace or Destiny Palace, where the starting luck cycle varies for each person. Thus, there is Prefixed Palace, where one begins life. Next is Ceiling Palace, if any, to begin interaction with them, and this can include one's peers as well. Third comes the Spouse Palace, which is based on old Chinese tradition. One gets settled down first before greater responsibilities before on them. Fourth, according to ancient tradition, having children is the next responsibility and obligation of the married couple to carry on the descendants tree. Fifth, one will have to feed the family where it is represented by the wealth palace. Sixth is the health palace where health is paramount to all, especially one has to find ways to bring in more wealth for the family and our bodily condition, our strength, our illnesses will all affect our ability to accumulate wealth, for example. Seven, we have the traveling or relocation palace where one has to make frequent trips away from home to seek new opportunities as the demand for better living justifies its means. Eight is friends palace where one will seek unity and socialization to build strategic bridges or alliances in order to gain bigger advantages in life. 9. One will be at the career palace where building up one business, fortune, or empire takes its full extent. 10. One's property will be enhanced and can be in fixed asset related to matters including buying a second property or renew the current property to accommodate the growing population at home. 11. Palace is the retirement phase or the happiness stage, or some interpretation labels it as the mind or karmic palace. In Mandarin, it is called Fu De Gong. Fu, when translated to English, can be referred to as fortune or luck, and De can be referred to as one's character or mindset or perception. When in Mandarin, we call De Xing, which is referred to as one character or personality, for your information. And therefore, we can see that how one thinks and how one perceives life actually is being influenced a lot by this Fu De Gong. And though one goes into retirement eventually, whether one is in a happy or sad mood, or whether one is miserable or one is charitable in nature, all depends on the state of mind of the person. And how one accumulate marries and goodies throughout life will also affect his old age. Last but not the least, we have the parents, ancestors, or senior palace, where one returns to the embrace of the source for protection, support, and care. The parents, ancestors, and senior palace is an interesting quadrant because, as you know, in Chinese tradition, we pay a lot of attention in how we construct the graves of our parents and grandparents, as it is believed that in terms of feng shui, it will affect the luck of our children and grandchildren. And therefore, if one's graves or one's grandparents' graves is not properly constructed, usually the subsequent grandchildren's lives will also be affected. One of the most important aspects in ensuring accuracy in interpretation and prediction is the thorough understanding of the meaning of the stars appearing in different palaces or quadrants. Though there are many stars to consider, experience tells us that the 14 major stars and its supplementary stars will be sufficient without bringing into the mix the auxiliary stars for generally correct interpretation. Unless finer aspects are required, then auxiliary stars could be added on to bring out more flavors or more details, so to speak, to the interpretation or prediction. An analogy would be there are major stars and co-stars in the movie, and they can jointly bring up the plots and themes of the show or story when they are in different scenes or palaces. Scenery stars are like extras or stunt artists, where appropriate inclusion into the mix to add more flavors or spice up the excitement. And the person is the producer and director of their own movie. Therefore, we can see that Wei Dou Shu astrology is really an amazing art, especially when one is able to take a peek into their own future and to know early in their life how it can evolve over time. This is synonymous to allowing one to make the right decision under different circumstances so that one will be able to achieve optimum prosperity and harmony at different stages of one's life. Thank you very much for watching, and we will continue to elaborate on the different stars in the following lessons. I am Jason Hathairat from dhammagalleria.com. May success, prosperity, and harmony be contagious in your life.